This is June's inflation data represented by the CPI. However, look about in the middle of the screen, maybe a little bit lower on that screenshot. It talks about the CPIW, the Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners and clerical workers. That's the line we want to look at. Reason being is this is the number that they use to determine how much of a raise we're going to get as Social Security beneficiaries for the following year. Okay? This is super annoying. A month ago when we got the previous month data, it came in at 4%. Okay? It went up nearly 0.5% just in 1 month. A month ago when we got the report. Now this report for the month of June, they're saying, oh no, it went down 0.5% and now we're sitting at 3.5%. Okay, now what does this mean? Well, remember how over the last couple months here, I've been pounding the table saying, wow, this inflation is really getting out of control. We're likely going to see a 5.5%, maybe 6% raise to our benefit. Again, that's the most recent data that we've had. That's going to change, by the way, based on this information. So stay tuned for another update on that. But I've been saying, based on the speed, the trajectory, the velocity of inflation increasing, we're going to see a nice, healthy raise to our benefit. Yeah, they may have just taken all the air right out of our sail here, because that's probably not going to be nearly what we're anticipating now, okay? Based on this most recent data, and again, this is June's, so I'm going to be 100% fair. Like I said earlier, this one actually technically doesn't matter. So things could still change for July, August, and September, but, well, you know, the trajectory is kind of waning a little bit here, if we can say that. But anyway, the situation is this. Inflation, according to this metric here, on the behalf of June, they're claiming is, well, slowing down significantly. In fact, according to this report, they're saying that this is the most major slowdown of inflation that we've seen going back to April of 2020. Really? Who's going to believe that crap? Like, seriously, who believes that right now, the drop that we saw from June inflation was the biggest slowdown in inflation that we've seen in over 6 years? Who buys that? No one. I mean, I think all of you in this community are certainly smart enough to know that's a big old line of BS, right? We all know better than that to believe that this is the biggest drop of real inflation in over 6 years. Yeah, where? Okay? Show us those prices that are not accelerating nearly as fast, okay? I mean, what a joke. And this is exactly what I've been warning about. Is that the closer we get to the midterm election, they're going to manipulate these numbers, and at the end of the day, what does it do? It screws Social Security beneficiaries in a huge way, because these are the months that we are relying on right now to determine how much of a raise we're going to be getting. We've already been paying the inflation. I mean, look at your finances. What have we been paying over the last 4 or 5 months or so since inflation took off in March of this year because of rapidly rising energy and all these other factors that have jacked up prices on everything? We've been paying the inflation, but guess what they're doing? Manipulating the numbers down, and it's not necessarily true, but unfortunately, these are the numbers that they use to determine our raise to our benefit. So anyway, I was afraid of this happening, and it looks like it may be coming true. Okay, now here's a couple of things I want to point out. It's not over yet. In fact, this number, as I've already said twice now, this number technically doesn't even matter. Okay, and the reason that I say that is because the only three numbers that matter are the ones from July, August, and September. We'll get July's data in about a month from now. In the middle of August is when we will get the July data. That's when's going to matter. Now, I want to look out to tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, we're going to be getting the wholesale inflation data represented by the PPI, the Producer Price Index. Now, that's the wholesale. And as I've been explaining in other videos recently as well, I say I like to look at the wholesale data because when we see wholesale inflation increasing, then we know that inflation is going to hit the consumer numbers probably in the coming weeks/months. So if we see a very hot inflation number on the wholesale level tomorrow, then we can anticipate that this is just, again, another lie out of this CPI, or as some people like to call it the CP lie, because that's literally what it is, the CP lie, out of the BLS, it's actually the BS agency here, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, right? Just the BS entity. So anyway, my point being is that based on that data that's released tomorrow, we could actually see that these numbers are actually highly manipulated, and maybe inflation is still surging and raging on the wholesale level, meaning that we could still see that showing up in July, August, and September's numbers. Now, here's the thing. I'm not sitting here crossing my fingers saying, oh my, I hope, I pray for high inflation because we want a big raise. I'm not saying that at all. If we had a pick, I would say no inflation, which would also translate into basically no raise. But you know what? I'd rather pay less at the stores for goods and services versus getting a bigger COLA. I mean, I don't want to pay and get hammered every time we go to the stores, right? I like lower prices. I want to pay less for goods and services than what we are, okay? So anyway, I'm not sitting here hoping for high inflation, but rather I'm just saying, like, let's just tell it how it is. Let's just be honest with the data that's coming out rather than manipulating these numbers to make it look like, hey, look, guys, there's no more inflation and therefore the economy is so great. Maybe the economy's fine. I don't know. But I'm just saying, let's just tell the truth on inflation. And unfortunately, that's kind of what we're dealing with. So here's where we're currently at right now. Now, I'm going to be fair. I'm going to wait for the number tomorrow to come out to see what that hits at as far as the inflation data. But I'll probably come out here in the next few days here. And unfortunately, I'll probably need to revise that estimated 2027 Social Security COLA. I'm just going to say this. We're likely going to have to revise that down pretty significantly based on a month ago, how things change in a month's time. It's crazy. Anyway, I'm going to wait for tomorrow's data first before I make that video, just because I want to see what the wholesale data is going to tell us. Because if that comes in very hot, it's just telling me that these numbers are so highly tinkered with that we can't believe anything. So anyway, let's just see, but I will bring you that latest update. But here you go. The latest inflation data. They're saying that this is the biggest drop in inflation that we've seen since April of 2020. Oh, what a funny joke. I mean, seriously, it's not even April Fool's anymore. I mean, we're in the middle of July and we're making silly jokes like this. Seriously, come on, guys. Don't even lie to us this much, right? I mean, let's just try to make it at least somewhat believable. This is not even remotely believable. This is ridiculous, okay? I hate being lied to. It's just ridiculous. It makes me so frustrated. Anyway, this is where we're at as of right now. Stay tuned. I'll keep you posted with everything else going on right now. Again, I'm going to watch that data tomorrow. I'll probably have a video out in the next handful of days here, bringing you that latest update in the forecast as far as where we're looking for the 2027 Social Security COLA. I want to say this much, I don't know, maybe 3 weeks ago or so, I had a forecast at that time between 5.5 to 6%. I'm going to give you a little warning. That number's coming down, and it's coming down a lot, unfortunately. Okay, but that's where we were at because of the trajectory and the speed of where inflation was going. But according to this, it just